All right. Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to today's Supreme Leverage. And for us, for me in particular, I'm extremely excited to be here for two reasons. One, majorly because Supreme Leverage is one, and I'm extremely lucky to be your host today. And two, I'm also lucky to be sharing the next 50, 60 minutes with you guys. So, hello and welcome to today's program. Hopefully, we'll have a wonderful 60 minutes together. And today we are having another expert who have laid who have laid a mark, indelible mark in the mark on history. So her name, to be specific, our guest for today is Miss Chinyere Princess Ofo, and she will be discussing with us limitless success. So that is what we'll be discussing today. So good evening, Miss Princess Ofo.
Good
Yes,
evening, Yusuf. I'm glad to
yes.
be here.
Thank you very much. I am Yusuf, and I'm the middle coordinator for high school. So I'll solely be your host for today. Hopefully, we'll enjoy the next 60 minutes together. Thank you, and welcome to today's program.
Thank you.
Yes, so a little bit about our guests. Miss Chinyere, Princess of Four, is a contract engineer with ExxonMobil. She has a thriving career that sees her developing proactive tools that enable service delivery safely and within budget and schedule. Yes, her experience within the energy industry cuts across petroleum engineering, project management, business development, and contract and procurement as well. For me, she's suitable for this topic because she epitomizes academic success, and that's because she's a PhD candidate at Emerald Energy Institute, Nigeria. Yes, she has also helped students and young professionals from several parts of the world get clarity in their career journey by conducting career talks, webinars, and mentoring sections. So she has not only succeeded academically, she has also impacted on the society socially. So once again, Miss Princess Ofo, you are welcome to this program.
Thank you.
Yes. So a very quick one, and this question, it looks simple. What is success to you? And I say it's simple because it is what a teenager can easily answer within 60 seconds. But you agree with me that success to A is not success to B. It differs from individual to individual. So what I would like to get from you, and I am sure our viewers would like to get your perspective on this as well. What is limitless success, sustainable success, than that you can truly call a success? Something close to universal definition of success. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And I totally agree that success is relative. Everyone has a definition of what success is. But for me, success, just from my perspective of man being a triune being, meaning that man is a spirit, has a soul, so he has a mind, and then he lives in the body. So I view success as the general well-being of these aspects of man. So
Hmm.
for me, I need to thrive, thrive in my health, thrive in my spirit, and thrive in my soul. So when my entire being is thriving, then I view that as success. And I wouldn't say that you would have one and not have the other. It has to be a collective wholeness and well-being. So very short. That's my definition of success.
It's not very short, man. That for me is holistic. And I'd like you to take that again for for our viewers. Please, I need to get that down. Because not just the viewers, I'm also learning as well.
Mhm.
Yes, I would like you to take that again, please.
Okay. So
Yes,
for me, success, it's when the entirety, and
yes,
referring to myself,
of course.
myself as I have a mind, I have a body, and then I also have a spirit. When the entirety of my being is thriving,
Hmm.
general good well-being, good health, I see that as success. So that's quite
All
holistic.
right.
Means
Yes,
there's
yes,
money in the there's
yes,
money in the account.
yes,
You
yes,
know, I'm not sick.
yes, exactly.
I'm mentally okay,
Yes,
right?
yes,
I'm at peace and one with my creator. So I see that
fantastic.
the totality
Yes.
of just striving as success.
All right. Thank you very much. And I was about to add that this again. So which means it's not about financial success now. So it's possible to be rich and still not be successful. I'm getting that from you now, isn't it?
For me, yes, it's very possible.
All
But
right.
like, this definition is relative
Yes.
to different people. So
Of
success to
course.
somebody else
Of
means
course.
money in the bank. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Thank you very much for that. Yes, can we now add the adjective limitless success? Please define it for us too. Limitless success.
I love that adjective. So when you talk about something limitless, it means
Yes.
the word endless comes to mind, the word inexhaustible, like
Hmm.
you can't see an end to it. So when you say limitless success, I would say that success is progressive and
Hmm.
that success is consistent. So you're not up today and down tomorrow. And
Wow.
neither do you remain at the same point.
True,
So
true,
it's
true.
progressive. You
Yes,
are
yes,
getting better.
yes. So actually, I'm getting these three keywords now. It is progressive, it is consistent as well. So I'm getting those keywords, consistent and progressive as well. So
Mhm.
which means that you are successful for the first 30 years of your life, and at 35 you are broke, for example. That cannot be subsumed under limitless success, isn't it?
That would that so there was a limit to it at
Yes,
that
yes,
particular time.
yes.
So when you say it's limitless, I mean it's limitless.
So I would like to ask again, what makes a success limitless? What are the fundamentals now? Those things that you need to have in order to experience limitless success. Obviously, from your explanation, eh, nobody wants a limited success. We all want to enjoy limitless success. So please share with us the fundamentals of what makes an individual to experience limitless success from your perspective.
Thank you. And let me add a caveat here.
Yes,
We already established that success is relative. And
yes,
so while I may see somebody who maybe at some point in the person's life, the person supposedly stopped being successful according to my
yes,
perception, the
yes,
person may not see it at that. So it may just be a temporary setback,
yes,
and that setback might be an opportunity for that person to learn,
of
and which
course,
still
yes,
adds to the progressiveness of the person's
yes.
success. So I
Oh,
just want to add that there, that it now comes down to every individual. When you talk about limitless success, you have
yes,
to define what success means to you.
yeah,
That's the first point. What Yes, the world can see you as successful, but if
yeah,
you do not see yourself as successful, then you most likely would not embody that. So what does success mean to you? And if I were to use myself, being that this is who man is, then when we're going to talk about limitless success, we have
yeah,
to now treat each area. So, if you're successful in terms of your health, your body,
yes,
it means that, for you to achieve that, what are the different aspects, you should take care of when
true,
it comes to your
true,
body?
yes,
And your body is made up of different parts.
true,
You
true,
hear basic things like, what you eat, your diet. Your diet is very key. You would also hear things about exercise. Exercise is very important because if you do not move your body, if you not move the parts of your organs, what happens is, your body begins to experience atrophy. So you hear, people having pain or ache or not being able to deliver, at a particular level. So, there are things when it comes to taking care of the body, exercise is very key. What you eat is very key. A very important part for me, which I think drives, even you now taking good care of your body, is your mind.
Yes.
And I believe that you literally have to, I wouldn't say you see yourself, you are a success necessarily just because of what you do, but I believe you're a success from who you are.
Hmm.
Because it is until you see yourself as a success, then you begin to ask yourself, so what do successful people do? you
Wow.
know what Until you see yourself as a success, then you may not treat yourself with that high level of responsibility and care that you should give to yourself. So when it comes to your mind, even the diet, and there are inputs to your mind, just from your normal senses. So
Yeah.
what you hear, what you um what you see, your environment matters, even what you think. So it's very
Okay.
important when it comes to limitless success. For me, it's very key that you are very deliberate about what you take into your mind, the thoughts you think. Because if you already do not, I like to use the word, give yourself permission to succeed, you won't succeed.
Hmm.
And that's why you hear stories of people who, for example, celebrities who have money and then they commit suicide. And
Wow.
then if we use the metrics of having money and having fame and having notoriety, you would say that
Yes.
person is successful. So why did the person commit suicide? You hear things like depression. The person was dealing with things. What kind of things was the person dealing with? The
True.
person could have been dealing with thoughts of, I am not enough, I need to impress.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's very key when it comes to the mind. And then, man is a spirit. You would realize that it's beyond just, there is an internal part of you. You cannot see your mind, but you know that it's there. And you
Yes.
know that there is, if you begin to study man and his physiology and everything, you
Yes.
realize that there is an inner world that is real. And for me, as a person of faith,
Yes.
I believe in a relationship with my creator. And
Yes.
so that relationship has to also be sound,
Yes.
because my creator is my source. And so that consistent relationship with the one who created me,
Yes.
ensures that I am successful. And to expound more of that,
Yes.
when I pick references from the Bible, it talks about that the thoughts he thinks towards me are thoughts of peace, a
Wow.
thought of good. So you begin to connect to a higher definition of who you are, which now empowers one to be
Yes.
limitless.
Yes.
And I would qualify this to say that when you also think of limitless success, so it wouldn't be that you succeed in Nigeria, you can't
Yes.
succeed any other place in the world,
All right.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Thank
that
you.
success
Yes.
is not limited to
Exactly.
your geographical region.
Region as
And
well.
so there are basic things that are expected in the world, right? A
Yes.
good work ethic. There are means through which you get, finance in, and that's by offering value. So
Yes.
anywhere you offer value in the world, you
Hmm.
will get, you'll
Yes.
get the financial benefits.
True. Thank you very much, Miss Princess. I like that part when you said success is also personal, is the thing of the mind, and I like the example you gave that even our celebrities that are rich still commit suicide because in their mind there's still a place they've not gotten to. That's a new one. Thank you very much. And I'm also using the
Thank you.
opportunity to thank our viewers online. I we encourage them to send in their questions, contributions, and I'm seeing some already So thank you very much. We need more contributions from you guys as well. So, and I also like to ask this: what stops people from being successful? What is that barrier, that obstacle? You have shared with us the fundamentals. So we'd like to know the barriers, the obstacles. As lovely as everything I have explained, the success, what it means to, what success means. I obviously everybody will want to be successful, but
Mhm.
why are people not successful? The barriers, please.
Okay.
All right.
So what I would say here is not exhaustive, right?
Of
There'll
course.
be more, but I'll
Okay.
just emphasize some.
All right. Mm.
Um, so first, I'd like to start with limiting beliefs. So
Wow.
one of the reasons people may not be successful is the limitation in terms of what they think about themselves. I think I
Hmm.
already mentioned you need to see yourself as successful. And
Hmm.
then you also need to ensure that, you know, you are stable in terms of what defines your self-worth.
Hmm.
So people define their self-worth by having possessions, by having assets, and the absence of those things, they now tend to feel less worthy, or they tend to feel like they are not successful. But it starts from understanding who you are and also understanding what success means to you at every stage and at every level that you are. And so that you do not begin to, compare yourself or to judge yourself with someone else's metrics of success. So
Hmm.
someone may look at me and say, oh, she has a PhD, I don't have a PhD, so therefore I'm not successful. But how? At your stage and at your
True.
level, you have
Yes.
what you have defined as maybe the goals that you want at that level, and that you have realized those goals. You're successful.
True.
But starting from the basics, you actually need to see yourself. You need to see yourself as a success, irrespective of the experiences you've had, especially failures,
Hmm.
irrespective of negative experiences, and then define what success is to you. So that would be the first one. So the limiting beliefs, it ends up stopping people. And those limiting beliefs, it's a thought.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
so it can be handled. So that's
Exactly.
limiting beliefs. Another would be that so there are certain things, when you know you want to be successful, when you know that you want general well-being in all aspects of your life, like your finance, your mental health, your physical body, your career, your family, there are things you need to do, there are actions you need to take. So if you are taking actions that will give you opposite outcomes, then
Okay.
obviously you can know what will be the
Yes.
outcome. There are certain,
Exactly.
A plus B is equal to C. So if you keep doing B plus D, there's just no way you will get C. If you say, oh, I want to be healthy and fit, and then you keep taking food that, may make you obese, eat at wrong times.
Hmm.
Sometimes you take food and you already feel all the work
Hmm.
you want to do. You literally feel like there are some foods I feel like make you like an anchor. You don't even want to do any work. You're getting tired. So there are certain habits and certain actions that people take that that can hinder them, and you would hear these expressions that, for example, you would have, like, you have thoughts, you have emotions, you have feelings. When all those things are translated into actions and those actions are repeated, they become habits. And then those habits, they can now become a consistent way of life. But
True.
all
True.
of those things have a consequence. So if you know the outcome of success in all of those areas, right? If you know you want to be financially free and financially stable, yet you keep amassing debts,
Hmm.
you you go and get ashrebi when you know you don't have the money for it. You want to be the latest person in town and you know you're not at that level. You want to keep on with the Joneses. And
Yes.
then it means you won't get, for example, financial success. So there there are certain steps, actions that people take that would negate, that outcome of success that they want. So definitely that would hinder one. Um, so that for me would be another thing that
Okay.
stops people from succeeding, and those are two key ones that I would like to focus on.
All right. Thank you once again. This is actually new. I like the first one when you said limiting belief. That's creating abstract barrier for yourself. That
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do this. Yes, and that takes me back to reminds me of the theory of the wind. That's by um, I'm trying to remember this scholar now. So he propounded the theory of the wind, and Albert Einstein, yes, he propounded the theory of the wind. And in summary, to him at that time, the wind, the force behind the wind, is actually the most forceful thing in the world at the time. And so at the point he was about to retire, a journalist put the question to him that, do you still have that thought? Do you still believe that? Are you still sticking to your theory? He said, no, that he found something more powerful than the force behind the will, and that is the will of a man from his
Mm-hmm.
heart, from his mind. So, from that sense, I completely agree with you. So, once again, thank you very much for that response. And I like the second one too, when you said it's not all about the emotions, it's not all about the thought, translating it into actions. And if the actions are not inconsistent with the mind, what you are thinking, the goals and everything, obviously you are not going to be successful. So I like that part. We've heard from people over the years telling us as kids that for you to be successful, you need to fail. That is, failure is a step, is a key ingredient of success. So you are smiling already. So we have motivational speakers telling us all of this. Please, we need you to confirm or negate or flesh this thought for our viewers, please. That failure is a necessary ingredient to success.
True. Failure is part of success. And I have
So,
to laugh here. I think for you to actually be
yeah,
successful, you need to
yeah.
have a healthy relationship with failure.
Hmm.
A
Are
healthy
you serious?
relationship with failure.
Wow.
Failure for many people becomes stumbling blocks, right? They fail at something, and that weighs, in fact, that already weighs them down. That even begins to affect what they think about themselves. So you need to have that healthy relationship with failure to understand that it is necessary on the path to success, but what one now needs to do is to interpret it appropriately. So if
Hmm.
you tried something and it didn't work, what you just did is you learned something that did not work, right?
Okay.
So you can learn
Hmm.
other, you
Yes.
know this is the part that, oh, this, for example, I can imagine how people found the roads that led to places before the advent of all this technology. Oh, you must have thought
Exactly.
this road will take you all the way to Abuja, but by the time you set out, you got to, maybe, let me imagine, some village somewhere in Ogun State.
Yes.
And then that road doesn't leave Abuja. You start finding another
Exactly.
path. So
Yes.
interpreting failure for what it is. Failure is an event,
Hmm.
right, on the path to success. Now,
Wow.
it is not a person, because
Please, I
many
need to
people fail and now
I need to take that
personalize
down.
success.
Failure
Many
is.
people fail and personalize failure. I mean, to think that, oh, I am a failure. No, you're not a failure. Failure is just that event that occurred that helped you to, it can help you to learn how not to do things and how to improve. So failure is actually an opportunity towards success. And many of the world's greatest people, in fact, everybody literally fails at some point. But what happens is, for those who learn from failure, they're able to get better.
Hmm.
Right now, we can use electricity. And then you hear the story of Michael Faraday, and you
Exactly.
hear many other inventors that tried multiple times before getting it. And if they had stopped at the point at which they failed, many of these inventions would not have come true. So failure it's necessary. Each person needs to have a healthy relationship with it, so it doesn't stop you. Rather, it becomes a learning opportunity, and it also becomes fuel, right?
Yes.
And it makes the experience richer. So
Exactly. Yes, thank
Yes,
you
thank
very
you
much
very
for
much
that.
for
And
that.
thank you,
And thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Raya,
Raya,
too.
too.
For him, I
For
think
him,
you
I
tried
think he
to
tried to
rephrase
rephrase
part of your
part of your
response that for
response.
you to
That
be
for you to be
successful, you need to
successful,
have
you need to have
healthy
healthy
relationship
relationship
with
with
success, with
success, with
failure.
failure.
Wow.
Wow.
And you also
And you
said,
also said,
from the same
from the same
Messiah too,
Messiah to
failure is an
failure is
event
an event
on your
on
path
your
to
path to
success.
success.
That is
That is
new
new
for us. Thank you
for us.
very
Thank you
much
very
for
much for
that
that
exploration.
exploration.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So,
more
more
questions, please.
questions, please.
Um,
Um,
I
I
understand that
understand that
there is a
there's a
link
link
or a
or a
correlation
correlation
between
between
your
your
values as an
values as an
individual
individual
and how
and how
successful
successful
you are.
you are.
Do I need to
Do
be
I need to be
true
true
to my
to my
values
values
to be
to be
successful?
successful?
I am putting
I am
that
putting
question
that
to
question
you
to
now.
you.
Well, I
Well,
would like
I
you
would like
to
you to
put us
put us
to your
to your
values
values
and
and
the
the
impact of your
impact of
being
your being
true
true
to those
to those
values, to how
values, to how
successful
successful
you've been.
you've been.
All right. I
All
hope
right,
that is
I hope
clear.
that is clear.
Hmm.
yes.
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 So your values, and I want to speak to, because I know at the beginning of this we talked about limitless success, and we said limitless success, it's progressive and then it's consistent. And you actually need your values as a foundation to ensure that the success you have is progressive and consistent. And there is what gets you to succeed, there is what keeps you succeeding. So, and your values are necessary to get you to succeed. Your values are also necessary to sustain you on that path to success. So, for example, one of my values is excellence. And let me mention some key ones:
Yes.
excellence, service,
Hmm.
integrity, resilience. So, what excellence for me is that I will keep doing my best and beyond
Hmm.
at whatever is required of me. And so, at every opportunity, irrespective of whether I'm paid for it or not,
Hmm.
I need to keep doing my best. And that's very key for me, because each human being, when created, each human being was created to be limitless. There's something you have that the world needs, and the world needs you to give it at its best. All these people that we look at and revere, musicians, artists, entertainers, people from different professions, and we think they're the best at this, it is because they chose to show up and refine what they do and serve it at the best. So if you don't do something excellently, then for me, it's not worth it. It's just like someone giving you nicely cooked food, but in a very dirty plate. You won't eat it.
Yes.
Yes.
You won't
True.
eat it
True.
because you think that's not the best presentation of a supposedly delightful dish. Another one for me is service. So
Hmm.
whatever is really worth doing should be at the service of humanity, in the sense that as we pursue success, or I wouldn't want to use the word success, but as we aim for success, then we should not be doing it at the expense of some other human being. It should not be a selfish pursuit. It should not be to pull somebody down
Okay.
or to, disrupt somebody's livelihood. So that is very key, because you see people who rise through shortcuts. You see people who want to defraud others. If you defraud somebody and you are not living affluently, that does not make you successful, because the means through which you got there, is not a good means. So that is something key. Another one for me is integrity. And when I think of integrity, I think of that my thoughts, my words, and my actions align. That who I am inside is who I am outside. And a key one I also mentioned is resilience. So I would look at resilience as that ability to bounce back. It has a role when it comes to failure, so that when you have changes, especially negative ones, when you have disruptions to your plan, you don't stay at that spot, right? It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to say, oh, I didn't expect this. But then you don't now stay there and now make it, make, for example, failure become a stumbling block. So there are quite a lot of values that has helped me to where I am and are still sustaining me. But each person earlier on must actually define, the values that are very important to them. Because like I said, it will not only help you on the path, but it will keep you on that path. And that is the only way that, it will be consistent success.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. That's wonderful.
Once
Once
again.
again.
Yes.
Yes.
So, from
From
Mr.
Mr.
Yahya,
Yahya,
one of our
yes.
so he's
So he's
asking,
asking,
why is
why is
money
money
the most
the
common
most
way of
common way
judging
of judging
success?
success?
I will
I
tie
will tie
that
that
to
to
my next
my next
question.
question.
Is there a
Is there
place
a place
for
for
happiness and
happiness in
success?
success?
And
And
can there be
can there be
success
success
without
without
happiness?
happiness?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Very question. So what's the place of happiness, and can there be success without happiness?
Yes, and
And it's
And the
easy
viewer is
for me
asking,
because I am judging success by my own metrics.
of
of
course.
course.
So for me, I believe happiness should be a part of your success. Like, would you be successful if you're not happy with yourself?
Okay.
Okay.
No, I don't. But I don't think happiness is something that you pursue. Happiness ends up being like it should be your internal state, right? It should be, there are certain things that you should just ensure that those things are your internal state. It's not dependent on, if I get money, oh, I'll be happy. If I get another degree, oh, I'll be happy. Because you see people endlessly pursuing, and they keep shifting the goalposts. Oh, when I graduate from school, yes, I'll be happy. When I have a good job, I'll be happy. When I get married, I'll be happy. When I have children, I'll be happy. And then the goalpost keeps shifting. You have to choose to be happy as a person, irrespective of what you're getting or what you're not getting,
Okay.
irrespective of your achievements. It should be the state that you ensure your body is in. Why am I saying that? And not just your body, your mind. It's because man is actually an energy field. If you begin to study, man, you notice you can conduct electricity, right? But even beyond just an energy field that you can see or that you can test, for example, with electricity, you will notice that when you come into the presence of somebody that is angry, without that person saying anything, you can literally feel the anger in the environment.
True.
And so you as an individual have to define the energy state that you will consistently be in. When you're happy, you will notice that you can be creative, you can achieve, how much can you do when you're angry, when you are sad, when you are down, when you're depressed? So I wouldn't say that. I think it's very important to ensure that, you know, there is a state that your being should be in, and happiness is one of it. It's not something that you should pursue with achievements or things that you tick the box with. Can somebody be successful and not happy? Well, if the person's own definition of success and metrics of success allows the person not to be happy, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So if that person says, I will only be happy until I have a PhD, then the person may live the person may live unhappily. The person says, I have to have money, else I won't be happy. Then the person will live that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
very
for
much
this
for
again.
this again.
Yes.
Yes.
A very
A
quick
very
one.
quick one.
Okay, this is
Okay, this
from
is from
Akinyemi
Akinyemi
Olukumi.
Olukumi.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we are also
Okay, we are also
getting
getting
comments from her
it
as
from
well.
her as well.
Then
Then
a very
a
quick
very
one.
quick one.
If you
If
weren't
you
scared,
weren't scared,
what will you
what
do
will you do
I
as
wasn't
a
scared.
as a person?
Yes.
Yes.
What would I do? I'll go bungee jumping and skydiving. Well, some of those things I still plan to try them.
Wow.
Wow.
If I wasn't scared, wow.
Yes,
Yes.
What will I do?
exactly.
Exactly.
What will I do if I wasn't scared? Interesting question. Well, I think I would engage in some extreme sports like you mentioned, but I would say that, you know, the things I want to do, the goals I have, both short-term and long-term goals, I will still do them with whatever, you know, level of fear or fright that I have. Like, I can't think of anything that I plan to do right now that I will not end up doing, because in my mind, I already believe that this thing is accessible to me. And so I will do everything I want to do or that I have proposed to do, even with where I am now. So I can't think of anything that, you know,
Specific.
I've not done them yet, but I'll still do them.
All right.
And I don't think fear needs to go for me to do them.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, thank
yes.
you
Thank
once
you
again.
once
Yes,
again.
as far
Yes.
as I'm
As far as I'm
concerned,
concerned,
academically,
academically,
the
the
peak of
of
success
success
is
is
PhD,
PhD,
doctoral
doctoral
level, and you are
level,
the
and you are
very,
the very
as an
as an
academic
academic
doctor, you are an
doctor, you are an
authority,
authority,
and
and
that is where you
that is
are
where you
now.
are now.
So
So
this
this
question is,
question
you
is
are actually
you are actually
competent to
competent to
respond to it.
respond to it.
Please, can you
Please,
share with
can you
us
share with
some
us some
tips for
tips for
academic
academic
success and
success and
excellence now?
excellence now?
And this question
And
is
this question
personal
is
to me
personal to me
because I'm in
because I'm in
academic.
academic.
Obviously, I'm a
Obviously, I'm
teacher.
a teacher,
And
and
so I'm
so
also a
I'm also
student.
a student.
So as you are
So as
answering
you
the
are answering
question,
the
please
question,
put
please
me in
put
mind
me in mind
as well.
as well.
Yes, so that
Yes, so
if
that if
need be,
need be,
I'll pick up
I'll
my
pick up
PhD
the
funds
PhD
tomorrow.
funds tomorrow.
Please
I think
share
Please
your
share
views.
the
Yes,
yes the
tips,
tips,
academic
academic
success now,
success,
the
the
tips on
tips
what
on
makes you
what makes you
academically
academically
successful.
successful.
And I was
And I
saying
was
that
saying that
you are
you are
academically
academically
competent
competent
to answer this
to answer this
question
question
because the peak
because
of
the peak
success
of success
academically
academically
is PhD.
is PhD.
I am
I
aware
am
that
aware that
you may not be
you may not
examined
be
again
examined
after this
again
stage.
after this stage.
Yes,
Yes,
so you are an
so
authority.
an
So
authority.
please share
So
with
please
us
share with us
the tips
the tips
on
on
academic
academic
success
success
and
and
excellence.
excellence.
Thank you for asking me. So I would also say again, what I'm saying, there could be more.
Yes,
Yes,
And success still remains relative.
of course.
of course.
But from my own experience, so if I were speaking to, for example, students, what they can do to be academically successful, I think they need to actually understand what they are taught, but they need to be, they need to be students. When someone is a student is open to learn and understand. So it is not to cram, it is to understand what is this concept about. Because when you understand a concept, then you can apply, right? And which I will bring to, so it's not just, the reason we do PhD is not just, it is not for, let me have doctor to my name.
Okay.
What you are studying, there has to be an application. There needs to be a problem you are solving. And you see people write research theses that are trying to solve different problems. So a student, which, each person must become actually a student of life beyond just the four walls of school. But a student within the environment of school needs to understand concepts, what is taught, and then also, support that with, any other educative materials. Thankfully, we have the internet and there's a whole lot of resources that you can get online. Now, what would that do for you? It will broaden your understanding, broaden your perspective. And, when you learn, you begin to understand the concept, what somebody said, what someone else found, what this experiment was all about, how this is related in this part of the world, So you are getting, your understanding is deepened, and then your perspective is broadened. And there are so many things you learn. There are so many things you learn in school, from just your technical knowledge to your social knowledge to even the sports. You need to be inquisitive. So I think that hunger for knowledge, which is not only restricted to students while they're in school, but while you are outside school, because you need to be hungry to know, why is this thing done this way? It is that level of hunger that made, you hear of the law of gravity, that Newton had to look up, okay, this apple fell down. Why did it fall? Right? So it's that hunger that makes you to inquire. You ask questions. Why, for example, is Nigeria this way? Why can't we do it this way? What is enabling other countries? What is Nigeria successful in? And what are the things she needs to maintain? What is she doing well that she needs to continue? What are the things she's not doing well? So there has to be that hunger and inquisitiveness, which also helps you as a person to say, Princess, what am I doing well? What am I not doing well? What don't I know? What are my goals? And between where I am right now and where I need to get to, what do I need to close that gap? So I believe that, which I think is applicable to students and everyone who should be a lifelong student, is that you need to be hungry for knowledge, you need to be inquisitive, you need to understand concepts, you need to broaden your perspective and now understand the applicability to different situations, even get multicultural perspective, right? That is very key. Now, like we've mentioned, when you also have that hunger, and we also talked about limiting beliefs. So as a student, you need to understand, are there any limiting beliefs that are stopping you on your way to success? Some persons already come and they hear math is hard. And with that, math is hard. You have not even proved whether it's hard. You need to ask yourself, so is this a fact or is it a truth? And or is it, is it something that is a fact for somebody else? So truth will always be absolute. but someone else may be failing at maths and the person concludes that maths is hard. That does not necessarily now become your own reality. You need to understand, okay, there are different, reasons why this person may not do well and may have that conclusion, which is not your own conclusion. So before you assume that something is impossible or is difficult, then you need to have the right mind towards it, right? And so every student needs to identify what are those limiting beliefs. If you already think you can't succeed in Nigeria, you are going to go through school and get out and not get job, then it's going to affect. So one needs to start challenging, what are the limiting beliefs I have? Like, what are the limits? Someone says, oh, I need to have a PhD to succeed. No, you don't need to have a PhD to succeed. At whatever stage you are, do you have fundamental understanding of what you know, enough for it to translate to application and bring value? Once you have value, you can see how what you know has come to value. So I think that is very key. And then we also talked about, the actions people take that negate. So then there are certain things that help you as a student. So this, our brain can expand by use. Our brain can expand by use. Anything you don't exercise, it would become, let me use the word stale. It won't function. So most people that we think are brilliant or are sound mentally, it is by use. They have exercised their brain, they are reading, they are consuming materials, they are thinking critically, they are asking questions. So as a student, you need to utilize your brain. Go check out information, do research, but exercise this brain. If not, over time, what will happen is, there are some scientific studies. Over time, just normal degradation in the human body as human beings age, there comes some age where people start forgetting things. But will you stop forgetting things at when you're 50? Or will it maybe get to when you're 100? It determines how you use the brain. So you need to exercise the brain so that it can actually process information. You put in the right information, you think. And so that's why, for example, if I use the word, some persons may not, if I use the word molware, some persons on this call may know what a molware is, because the brain has gone to bring, it has your mind, it has a reservoir of your experiences, and it has tried to form that connection. But if I mention something now that your brain cannot even pick any relationship with, it can't relate to it. So you exercise the brain, and then it's able to produce results. So there's more, but I would say that just to mention what I said, I talked about challenging the limiting beliefs, the actions that you take, and then being hungry. You need to stay hungry. You need to stay hungry, right? And I believe if you do that, that will help you academically. But there is actually more. You need to be open. Success, or let me not use the word success. So you need knowledge, and sometimes knowledge resides in places that knowledge even could reside in human beings around you, and you need to interact with those human beings. So there are some attitudes that you have that will enable that exchange. If you're proud, the chances are, somebody else who doesn't like proud people will not pass on that information to you. If you are proving I know it all, you will not learn. So it's more, there are more to this, but I would say that just ensure that you have the right beliefs and attitudes, and that you are hungry, you stay hungry to learn, to know, to apply, and then that application translates to value.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss
Miss
Princess.
Princess.
My
My
personal takeaway is the
is
part
the
when
part
you
when
said
you said
one need to
one
be
need to be
humble to be
to be
academically
academically
successful.
successful.
So that
So
for
that
me
for me
is
is
excellent.
excellent.
You need to
You need
want
to
it.
want it.
Yes.
Yes.
You
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 you need
you need
to have that
to have that
mindset that I want
mindset
to
that I want
learn.
to learn.
So for me
So
that's
for me that
fantastic.
that's
I will use
I
this
will use this
opportunity
opportunity
to
to
thank our
thank our
viewers,
viewers,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Harriet
Harriet
Osenwa,
Osenwa,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Rashidat
Washirat
Yabo.
Yabo.
Yes,
Yes.
and
And
thank you for your
thank you for your
contributions
contributions
as well.
as well.
So I
So
will
I will
ask
ask
one or two
one
more
or two more
questions
questions
because we are
because we
cruising
are
home
cruising
now.
home now.
Yes. So
Yes.
what
So
will be
what will be
success to you in
success
the
to you
next
in the
5 years?
next 5 years?
Yes.
Yes.
What will
What will be
success to
success to
you
you
in
in
the next
the
five
next
years?
5 years?
And please,
And
Yeah.
please,
please
and
don't
please
deny
don't
us
deny us
that
that
info.
info.
What success is. So, okay. So in the next 5 years, what will success
Yes.
look like to
Yes.
me? So
Hmm.
success will look like a healthy me. I'll be healthy, sound. Success will look like a stable family.
Okay.
Of
Okay.
my own stable family.
Hmm.
Success will also look like, see, money is very important. Success will look like multi-million things. So success will look like me earning, not just in naira,
Okay.
in other currencies, but good value for my time coming in, good value for whatever products, services that I'm putting out there. Success will also look like me, still having that constant fellowship with my creator. Um, and success will look like just general good well-being. I would have completed my post graduate program by then, and I also look to providing advisory and consultation, so
Wow.
Wow.
services to organizations. So
I
let me
hope
stop there.
I hope it
I
will be
hope
at
it will be at
a
a
minimal
minimal
cost
cost
for
for
Supreme and
Supreme
Supreme
and
staff,
Supreme staff,
especially Mr.
especially
Yusuf.
Mr. Yusuf.
All right,
All
so we are
right, so I'm
moving on now.
moving now.
So what
So, what
counsel do you
counsel
have
do you have
for business
for business
owners
owners
in creating
in
that
creating that
enabling
enabling
environment for
environment for
success?
success?
What counsel
What
do you have
counsel
for
do you have
business
for
owners
business
now
owners now
in
in
creating that
creating that
enabling
enabling
environment for
environment
success?
for success?
So the first one I'd like to start with is so know that success in your business is within your reach,
Hmm.
um, irrespective of the environment you are, geographical environment, location. You need to. It's more of an inside out, right, than an outside in. And that's why, irrespective of complaints that anybody has, you still see people thriving in those same environments that people complain about. So first understand that business success, is within your reach. Now, what is business success to that person? Define it so that you are not comparing with some other business. So at the stage you are in now, and that's why there are different stages. So that business owner needs to identify, what stage am I in business? Am I just starting? Am I trying to consolidate? Am I trying to expand my reach? So at what stage are you in business, and what would success look like? So you need to define that. Then when you define what would success look like, so what is required of you to get there? Start identifying the resources. Do you have the people? Do you need people? You may be at a stage in business where, if it's something you need to be a solopreneur, you're doing most of the work. That may be the
Okay.
stage. But at that stage, define what are the resources you need. Is it people? Is it knowledge that you don't have? Where can you find that knowledge? What do you need at every stage? Now, when you define that, then what is within your control,
Wow.
so that you don't be looking at what is outside of your control as excuse not to take steps So what is within your control? And then the things outside of your control, how can you start putting actions in place to bring those things that are not yet, you start setting, you need to actually set yourself up for success. Would you need to start, collaborating with some other, sometimes you may just, you may be starting out and you don't have so much references. So you may need to, get people to give you feedback, reviews on what you do, and now use that to be able to show to other people, oh, see, I have proof that I've done this work and done it well. So identify where you are. Now, what are the pillars of your business? What's your business even trying to do? And I would assume, but that would be a hasty assumption to say that every business has clearly defined its missions, its vision, its values. Businesses who have values, because what's going to differentiate you in the marketplace? So what are your customers going to identify you with? Many people would identify tailors with not delivering on time. But you say, I will be the tailor or the designer that my yes is my yes, my Tuesday is my Tuesday. Okay, what will it take for me to ensure that I meet up, right? Will I give realistic deadlines, to my, I won't say, oh, I'm taking a cloth today, I'm going to deliver it to you in the night. You're already, setting yourself up for failure. So what are now the things that you need to do? What are all the parts? What are all the parts playing in your business that needs to ensure that result? So, like I mentioned, identify, know that business success is within your reach. Define what that success means to you at the stage you are, and then you will grow. Now, identify the resources you need at that stage to achieve those results, and act within what is in your control. Now, don't shoot for perfection. Take action first. It will only get clearer with execution. It will only get clearer as you act. So don't get stuck on perfection. Do what you can with what you know at the level you are, and then you begin to attract those opportunities. So there is so much more, but go for now. I would say go for knowledge.
Yes,
Go for knowledge, invest in yourself.
Thank you very
There's
much.
so much more.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on
coming on
the program
the program
today.
today.
Indeed,
Indeed,
this
this
has
has
been
been
a
a
successful
successful
episode.
episode.
And
And
once again,
once
thank you
again,
for
thank you
coming.
for
And
coming. And what a way
to end
to
this
end
unique
this unique
episode, because
episode,
it's
because it's
actually
actually
our
our
mastery.
mastery.
Self
Self
Supreme Leverages
leverages
one
one
today.
today.
So I'm
So I'm
happy,
happy,
yes,
yes,
to be
to
part
be part
of this
of this
success
success
episode.
episode.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming.
for coming.
And I'm also
And I'm
using the
also using the
opportunity.
opportunity.
I mean, this
I mean, it's
opportunity
an
to
opportunity
thank
to
our
thank
viewers
our viewers
who have asked
who ask
questions for
questions,
their
their
contributions.
contributions.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
I can't read
I can't
all
read
of them.
all of them.
But we
But we
appreciate all of
appreciate all
you.
of you.
And
And
we'll ask
we'll
that
ask
let's do this
let's do
again
this again
next week,
next week,
same time.
same
I
time.
remain
I
Mr.
miss
Yusuf.
Mr. Yusuf.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you.